Sonic Frontiers is a good game. I wanted to get that out of the way before I get to anything negative. But it really is. I had heavy concerns about the direction the game was going back in June 2022, because it was something that the series hasn't really tackled before. Open world with combat. The series had dipped its toes in both before, but not to the extent Frontiers has. And it works, it's fun. Plus we haven't had this much lore and character building in a Sonic game since Unleashed. Sonic Frontiers definitely took great lengths to make the exploration and combat not only simple, but flashy and rewarding. I think we can all recall the first time fighting Azura and how it towered over Sonic, only for him to scale it and take it down arm by arm. Or how vast the islands were with many things to see, at least for the first two islands. By the third and fifth it got pretty tiring to do the same thing over and over. Chaos Island especially, with many unreachable isles that have emeralds. I get why some might not like this new era of Sonic. It's different from what we expected Sonic to do. Besides that, many parts of the game could have been tweaked for a more flowing experience, and some things should have been implemented for a more complete game. Most of the game is just running around, finding various stages of collectible keys to get to the boss of each island, and oh my god, have you heard this soundtrack? Though I am a fan of the Blue Blur, very rarely nowadays do I try and play as long as I can before sleep, hunger, or the cries of my children pull me away from my trance. Frontiers certainly captured my attention, as I wanted to get each island finished before I stopped. It's like quitting in the middle of a dungeon in Zelda. It's not possible. Like I said, it's good. I enjoy my time with this game. It's not one of my all-time favorite entries, but it's in the top 10. After that, I thought we would move on to the next game, but nope. Sega gave us a roadmap of things to come. 3 updates that would make Sonic Frontiers bigger and better, all within 1 year after release. And the results? They varied. Look, I have problems with Frontiers, from the Elder Coco to the pinball table to abusing Big's generosity, but I still was having fun. But some of these updates hindered that feeling. Let's begin. Update 1. Sight, Sounds and Speed. Talk about rolling out the red carpet and making a good first impression. The first of these 3 updates fixed a few problems I had with the game. Namely, the frequent Starfall laser storm can be turned off, and leveling up with the Elder Coco can now take seconds rather than hours, jumping from level 1 to 99. But it also added boss battle and cyberspace challenges, where you must face the gauntlet of boss or cyber stages in one go as fast as you can for each of the 4 islands, provided you already have a finished save file. Yes, it's tedious to face all the Guardians again, from the small fry to the squid, just to get another crack at the Titan, but it's fun. Plus, getting all S ranks gives you an extreme difficulty, where you have one hit and everything is stronger. No thanks. Another neat addition that I never knew I wanted is a photo mode, so you can capture some epic moves. It's finicky as the camera collides with everything, but it's fun to use. Too bad we can't take the photos in-game and then use them to replace the menu background. Oh god, this menu is boring! And finally, collectible music notes to listen to with the in-game jukebox. I never thought listening to Lava Reef on Chaos Island surrounded by new Springtime Cocoa would fit so well. Update 2. Sonic's Birthday Bash. This birthday-themed update was a lackluster one. While the party additions were cute to celebrate Sonic's birthday, I literally only used it once and never again. The biggest additions this update brought to the table were action chain challenges, where every ring, enemy defeated, and action rewarded points, and getting an S rank on every challenge on every island rewards you with a spin dash, something we hadn't seen in a 3D game since Lost World. New Coco were added, and getting them required some sharp platforming challenges. Collecting them all on each island grants you a boost extension, which is pointless as you can side loop a figure 8 and get the infinite boost. More music was added to the jukebox, but it's just the various themes of the island, and new Game Plus was added if you want to start a game with your current stats. What really annoyed me was the new completion board. It now tracks how many Guardians you defeated, character interactions you found, how much you've gone fishing, how many new Coco you saved, and for some reason, every memory token collected. You know, the story progression keys that you bought thousands from Big just to bypass collecting them across the last 2 islands? Yeah, now go back and do it properly. Update 3, the New Horizon. This update was meant to be big, and it did deliver on that. Tails, Amy, and Knuckles are now playable with new moves to play with, a different story that is considered an alternate ending to the game, more powerful Guardians, a completely revamped Aurora's Island, and for some reason, More lore drops in this game about the island and its connection to the ancients than ever before, explaining away every detail that we missed, but it still left us with questions. The one thing we all wanted to know is what is up with that symbol. It turns out even the ancients don't know what it was, but pray to it like it was an afterlife. Yeah, we got that, but it doesn't explain what the hell it is. You can tell we're going off to a great start with this because despite what I just said about the update, there was a lot to like about it. Being able to play as other characters for the first time since 2006, or 2009 if you want to be picky, was a real treat, and each having their own skill trees to unlock new abilities with tarot cards and a cyclone. But not really worth a damn because fighting guardians with any of these characters is not worth it, and it's a do and you will die situation. Not to mention, Knuckles got dealt with a bad hand because for some reason, his glide requires a wind-up animation and he turns slower than second-class post. And I've not gotten to the worst part of this update because despite it being a revamped final island, it decided to add towers that you have to scale, and unlike the towers of the fourth island, there are no checkpoints via pulleys. These towers have some of the most precise and unfair platforming I've experienced in a 3D Sonic game or any 3D platform game in my entire life. I managed to do the first tower after several restarts, and yet halfway up the second, I decided to switch it to easy because it was recommended to actually finish the towers and get to the trials. Yes, in order to circumvent some of the most painful, rage-inducing platform challenges, it is recommended to play on easy as springs and balloons guide you up the tower. And the trials that await you are honestly pretty hard to do. All of them are combat centric, but all your level caps are set to 1, so you better know how to fight these enemies in a short amount of time. I know what you're thinking, just scale the towers on easy and do the trials, what's the big deal? Why does everyone have a massive disdain for this update? Why are you ranting so much about this alternate take on the final island? Because of the final trial, King Coco's trial, which not only sets your stats level 1, but also has you fight against the 3 titans with only 400 rings that do not reset between titans. A shorter window to parry, and each titan is stronger than before. And if you fail on one of them, for example, Knight, you have to start the trial all over again. Oh, did I forget to mention that you cannot regain any rings during these boss fights? This Coco, this mossy little ball of fuck, gave players GPTSD, gaming post-traumatic stress disorder, because despite being set on easy mode, it was still one of the most stressful experiences I've had since trying to finish Crash Bandicoot 4. All those limitations set by the King Coco made this trial almost impossible to do. And I say almost because apparently there is an exploit to make this trial somewhat easier. And that is salute the bastards and curb stomp their fucking faces. And after doing that, you can fight the final boss, Supreme, and the end. And honestly, I don't like the new The End boss fight. It's just Supreme again, but the boss fight is just a regenerating puzzle you have to solve. But hey, we do get an official Super Sonic 2 with blue eyes. I hated this. I hated this so much. I was having fun with the game and this update until they decided that we needed to be punished so much for having fun. I'm pretty sure that's not the takeaway of this, but it's how I'm feeling right now. I felt this update was not worth it. I preferred the original ending. Yes, Sage is alive in this alternate ending, but I preferred it when she sacrificed herself to destroy the end and save Eggman and the planet. And then they patched it! Yes, thanks to a few complaints from one person, the director decided to fix the few problems that everyone had with this. Knuckles now glides as he did in Sonic Adventure. Fighting the Guardians with Tails, Knuckles or Amy is now worth a damn, as now they've been buffed to actually withstand the attacks. Platform is made easier, and the King Coco trial set on easy mode has been fixed to actually be doable on a first try. But I think they went overboard by giving you 600 rings, giving you a level cap of 25 attack. I would have been happy if you just got an additional 100 or even 50 rings and have the levels cap set to 10. Even when I've been given something that we desperately needed, I still have complaints about it. And those were the updates that would give the Sonic Frontiers a year after its release. It started off great and just went downhill. While I love being able to play as anyone else but Sonic and all the lore dumps of the ancients, as well as explaining away why Big the Cat was there, it turns out he never existed in the first place. The bulk of these updates were just not fun to do, and that's what really hurt the overall experience of these updates. If you managed to find more enjoyment than me on the New Horizon update, then more power to you. But in the end, I just felt it wasn't worth it.